Today's show brought to you live from Lounge Media Group Studios. It's Pedro and the Freight Hound with the Logistics Lounge. The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.
What is crack-a-lacking, all you beautiful, beautiful people? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
happy to
You're
be
welcome.
here.
We're gonna get to you in a moment, Mr. Dickinson. All right, don't you think that we're gonna forget you? You know, we have something special lined up for you. But first, we're gonna start down here at the bottom, Mr. Prax. How are you, man? We ain't seen you in a while. You've been a busy man.
Yeah, I've been on the road a little bit, but I was glad to see your your Friday show on Wednesday show up today on my text or on my my LinkedIn feed. So I thought since I got back in town, it'd be a great opportunity to jump back and look at my Texas license plate on your wall.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love that thing. Is it facing right? I don't know. I can't see. I keep having to. All right, cool. I love it. It's funny today. I was in a meeting today with Steve Vest. He was in there and he called me Mr. Freight Validate. And I was like, and I know it's because he saw the thing. And then he started talking about you and stuff. And I was like, man, I wonder if this guy thinks I work for Dell.
Well, I wish you did.
Yeah, man. Hey, me too. We except for we would get in too much trouble though, Dale.
Yeah,
we would get in too much. We would get in too much trouble together. So it's best that we don't. But glad you're here, man. We're glad to have you hanging out with this dude, and we're gonna talk about some of the stuff you've been doing. What you were just mentioning backstage. So once we get things rolling, we'll get back onto that. But Mr. Hatfield, how are you? Same thing. We haven't seen you in forever, brother.
I know. I'm doing well. Been super busy. The summer's pretty crazy, in good ways. Harvest, the company I work for, growing like crazy. And then, I actually, over the summer, I got a little baby boy on the way. So that's like new news for the family. So I've been kind of hunkered down on the home front and prepping for all that stuff. So life's good, but thank you. I'm just kind of pacing it out. Everything's going well. And so we're just, be thankful for the good things and keep on hustling, right?
Man, very very well said. Very well said. And glad to hear you're doing good, man. Congrats on the baby. Seems like everybody I know is either got pregnant or is having a kid. Just had a kid.
Yeah, we've got a couple friends that are kind of in the same boat. Actually, and it's one of my siblings. They just found out that is they're talking about like having kids, and they're doing this stuff. And our friends, we've got like three friends right now that are also at like variations of that, and it's like everybody we're talking to, at least in our phase of life, is kind of like just either thinking about children, talking about children, or actually in the process. So it's a fun time.
Well, I'm in the opposite of that spectrum, dude. My kids are out, gone, bye. You know what I mean? Like deuces. So I'm 41, man. My wife's 39. I'm telling you, we're over here like living like a newly married couple, dude. We're just doing whatever we want to do. Like it used to be, you think about, man, we got to worry about the kids, and it's like, oh wait, no, we don't. But we do have two cats. So now that's our worry when we leave town. Now instead of finding a babysitter, you got to find a cat sitter. You know what I mean? So
there you go.
Children are baby goats. That's right. It's where they are. Oh man, Mrs. the Connector. How are you doing?
What's going on, friends? How you doing?
We are great. We're even better now that you're here, Claudia.
Oh, that's so kind. Things are going well here. I am working in my new office, my home office. So I've been fully remote for 6 weeks now, loving every moment of that. It's been great. And I have working for a new brokerage, and that brokerage is actually mostly remote. So as my last company, I was hybrid, but it was stressful because it wasn't designed to be hybrid. But now that we are, now that I'm with a company that is, it makes it a little bit smoother with all the communication. So that's been great. And home is great. I'm gonna celebrate 9 years with Sugar Bear in a couple of weeks. So we celebrate 2 anniversaries a year. We celebrate our when we got together one, and then our when we said I love you one, which is a nice about 6 month split. and we don't have children. Mr. Hatfield, we're not into that whole game. So Pedro was like, all of my friends, you don't know me then. I'm sorry. Like, you don't know me. If everyone is getting pregnant that you know, I am no longer your friend. Bye.
Well, a vast majority. How about that? A vast majority of them. How about that?
In that case, I think we could still hang out then. But I don't mean that disrespectfully to those who.
I know. Don't explain yourself to the audience. They forget that.
I'm not getting pregnant either, so I'm with you.
I'm done.
But anyway, but yeah, things are great. I appreciate the invitation. I'm sometimes not able to hop on. It's been a minute, so I appreciate it. Just happened to be today. I was literally wrapping a meeting with my boss right before we rolled on here. So things are good. I appreciate it.
That's good. I was going to ask you how the new gig was going. And as far as the invitation, I didn't give you no invitation. The only invitation we gave you was like a year and a half ago, Claudia. So I mean, that invitation is open ended. I just shoot you links. So if that's an invitation, then fine. It's more like me saying, Claudia, get your ass on this show and hang out with us today.
There you go.
And all right, we're going to moving on. The artist, formerly known as the Bodacious Cowboy, Jeff Dickinson. Mr. Dickinson, how? There's number one. Just so you know, Jeff, Hunter and I keep a running count every show how many times you kick yourself off, and I think Hunter said we got up to like 9 one time is like the
yeah.
record,
I'm on
like
notebook
that.
number 3. I do it by hand. Okay.
I've heard it's going to turn into a drinking game. Every time he shuts off for a second, you have to drink, and then he shuts off for a long time. It's a chug.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did that, and life decisions were made, so we had to back off on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm starting to get really drunk.
Jeff, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, thanks. Been definitely busy. I stopped podcasting for many different reasons, but yeah, I'm really busy with the freight fraud task force, and now the freight fraud summit. I'm just going 100 miles an hour right now. We just got so much to do, and Claudia is part of the freight fraud task force. She's the secretary. We've got other people as well that are part of I'll say the journey, because that's what it is. It's something that's going to last for a very, very long time, because nobody in this industry is going to clear this up overnight. Dale knows it as well. You just got to be constant in the pressure and in that preventative mode of stopping it before it happens. A lot of people are in the reactive mode. They're not going towards the source and doing what's necessary to put the procedures in place, if you will, to stop it from happening. It's always that reactive mode. Once the water's over the dam, everybody's now, picking up the pieces and trying to put it back together. And tools are tools, but they don't write work instructions. They don't write process improvement plans at the source to try to mitigate those issues that are popping up constantly all the time. And that's what the Freight Fraud Task Force is all about. Mitigating those problems and putting preventive measures in place to stop it before it happens.
Frickin' A. You're so damn passionate about this stuff, Jeff. Sometimes I'm be like, man, if I get this damn guy going on this freight fraud task force stuff, I'm gonna have to put a time limit on him because Jeff's so passionate.
Fault. It's not my fault. It's just this gentleman right there.
I know. Yeah, Dale. I know. We give all thanks to the Almighty Dale. Mr. Hound, man. What about you, my brother? How have you been?
Doing good, man. Hey, I just wanted to say, Jeff says I'm done podcasting, but this is his second time on the show.
I know.
In less than a week, so
no. It's okay being a guest, not being a host. No.
Yeah, whatever. But no, we're doing good, man. Getting ready for Chicago this weekend. Very excited about that. Get to hang out with you, Mr. Pedro, and old Neil from Freight Ninja, and J Mart. So it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, getting moved in, and also I'm not having a child. I'm here with you, Claudia. I got a fur baby instead. So that growing up, they said don't get married, get a dog. So here we are. And but yeah, it's been a good week, man. Still got some unpacking to do, but yeah, ready to get settled in. When I land in Nashville on Sunday, I'm going straight to somewhere and buying an office chair and a new desk. So I'm ready to have mission control back. But how about yourself, brother?
Dude, I'm really good, bro. Had a wonderful weekend in Nacogdoches at O Town Rig Down. That was absolutely it was a blast, man. I love every truck show. This one was a little more fun because I went there thinking I wasn't going to know anybody coming. And then by the time I got there, like, I don't know, it's like the trucking universe was like, oh man, we need to bring some people here together and make something fun. And it was cool, man. Ended up a lot of great folks for being there. Got to hang out with Tony a little bit at his trailer and talk to him, which was great. Rarely is Tony ever not freaking crowded around with people. So, just that's all it was, man. Just a good time hanging out with folks. Some really cool trucks that I've never seen at other shows before. A lot of local people there. And just the fact that, it was sitting in the oldest city in our state and, on red brick paved roads that are in the history books here in Texas. It's just absolutely phenomenal. And looking forward to, like you said, to this weekend, man. Like I am stoked about this carrier revenue summit thing, man. Like as we get closer and closer to it, the excitement is getting there as I'm starting to learn more about the people that are going. And again, thought it was just going to be you and I, and now here, Freight Ninja's going, and J Mart's going, and Steve Vest is going, and so it's pretty cool. I don't know about y'all, but it feels weird when you go to an event and you're like, man, I'm not going to know anybody here. Like you just feel like you're not going to have that same quality of time at the event. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one like that. But like when I go to something, man, I like other people to hang around with and, have a good time with and all that stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to hanging out. And hopefully we'll go to see Aaron there too, since, he's up in Chicago. That'll be freaking awesome.
It'll be close.
We'll see. Yeah, if we can cut it and if I can do it, I'll make it happen. But yeah, I'll text y'all. We'll see if we can figure something out. But it's not often that it's funny. Every time I've seen you guys has been in a different city than where I think any of the three of us are from. So, let's keep that ball rolling, right?
Hey, we're doing stuff out here. We're moving.
And before we get to the news real quick, I want to go back to where was it? Where's Fitzroy's thing? Fitzroy, no, we're not all drivers. Dale Prax, he is the owner of Freight Validate, and he also used to own a brokerage. Aaron is in the tech space in logistics. He's done a whole slew of stuff. Claudia over there, she's in the compliance and fraud and risk management area of things, more on the carrier side specifically. Well, now she's with a broker, but mainly has been working on the carrier side. Jeff invented logistics. He actually was the one that supervised the building of the pyramids. So, he's done everything. He's not a driver, but he helped design the first truck back in 1898. So, Hunter, he works on the carrier side. He does like sales and stuff for a refrigerated carrier. Mainly they deal with wine, spirits, stuff like that. High-end refrigerated goods. I was a driver for a decade, and then I got out of the truck, and I am now a broker on my day job. So there you go. Try to give the rundown real quick. He said, I have 6 children, never bored. Oh my God, 6 children. Now I see why you don't have hair, Fitzroy. I literally was just about to say, I don't know how you still have hair. And then I looked, I was like, oh wait, he doesn't have hair. So there we go.
I see your 6 children. I raised you one. I have 7.
No.
Anybody want some? Oh, they're all grown up now.
So no.
Yeah, my oldest son he'll be 40 in June. He just had his first baby. He's 5 months old. And my youngest son is 19.
Okay, Gramps.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Baby. I hear grandbabies are better than actual, like, the first ones.
Oh yeah, my kids realize how much I don't like them as much as I like my grandkids.
I heard that's because you can just give them back.
Yeah, exactly. He's crying. Take him.
There's some truth there.
Perfect.
Oh Lord, what's up, Miles? If you want a link, holler at us. That's our I can't even think of the word right now. That's our Aussie buddy.
Yeah, he'll be coming on. He'll be coming on in a few weeks to talk about trucking in Australia. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Heck yeah.
So we ready to we'll get to some news here. Mr. Hatfield is technically our news. He's a guest in our news. So we'll do that.
Cool.
Brain freeze. Boom, it's back. Boom. You should, right? We should. Here, back to Aaron, our correspondent in the field.
Yeah, she has blow up microphones, like, for like karaoke. I need to start bringing one in my backpack now, just in case. Just
Dude,
wherever I'm at, just hold it like a neon blue microphone.
Oh, Hunter. Remember that idea.
That's a great idea.
Remember that idea. I really feel there is a way we could attach a real microphone to that.
Oversized
yes. Remember that idea.
We'll give one to Redneck Trucker to match his hat. We'll just give him all big things.
All right. Lounge Media News brought to you by AR Doc Pro, everybody. All right, Aaron. I'm going to bring up the screen and sorry. Go ahead, Hunter. My bad. And floor is yours, my friend.
Oh no, well, thank you. So I'll just start right off here. I know Hunter, Pedro, we've been talking a little bit. So first, what I'm going to start off though is Arvist AI. We're a vision AI company focused on the warehouse space inside the docks. So think of your shipping, receiving docks. What we do is we use vision camera or vision AI and existing cameras within the warehouse, as well as existing network infrastructure to help pull quality control instances as well as safety and compliance instances. So think of labels, damages, crushes, unmarked or unmatched or mismatched items on your dock and so forth. These are the things that we're going a couple steps upstream and helping out these warehouses really be able to find out how to use new technology, not break the bank, and have quick practical ROI for their operations. And what we're doing and starting to see, this is why I used to be a broker and I got my start in warehousing. This is why I love hanging around, and you always see me in these, around at these events with you all, is what is our primary focus, or one of the main focuses that come up over the last year is quality control with claims management and so forth. And we're able to start tracking these not only for the warehouse, but we're also starting through partners of ours. We're starting to see this benefit as well as drivers, because they're with shipping, receiving is all we're doing is essentially solidifying and streamlining the system of record from start to finish. We're bridging that gap. But the news is we just announced a seed funding round of $4 million yesterday. We've got some clients here in the United States, Central South America, as well in the Middle East. And what we're doing is just really focusing on fundamentals, especially within the supply chain. Pedro, he mentioned that I'd been around a couple, and done a couple of things within that. And so it's been kind of a fun way personally, just kind of a roundabout way to say, hey, I'm back in the warehouse. I'm back working with the people that I started my logistics career with. And it's enjoyable professionally because we're able to touch in different instances, different aspects of the supply chain. So, the better warehouse operations, manufacturing operations, et cetera, can manage claims, manage quality control on and at the shipping and receiving docks. That means drivers, you're sitting less. That means you're not dealing with the tension and dealing with claims and dealing with upset, shippers and or receivers. And, I've never driven truck, but I have a lot of people and a lot of friends that I respect that do. And, this is one way that Arvist, it's really fun because with this announcement, we're able to really, really invest heavily in advancing these AI models and these video models to just keep refining quality, and then keep just really helping bridge that technological gap and that barrier that a lot of facilities see with this new and developing technology. I tell people all the time, is if you're into gaming at all, or in any of that stuff, is, AI 5 years ago was at Nintendo 64 level. And what we here at Arvist are doing is we're chasing the newest PlayStation. We're chasing the newest Xbox, not for fanfare, but by sticking to fundamentals and developing to what our clients ask and say is valuable. We found that we've been able to create an incredibly robust safety application along with quality control and compliance. So yeah, this week we're all in town. We have an international team, so we're able to bring everybody in for the announcement. And then we're getting ready to launch some products. I can't talk too much about it yet because the official launch is on Friday, but what this is going to be is just a further example of new technology. One doesn't have to be quote unquote mystical. It can be practical, it can be impactful, and it can drive ROI quicker than what a lot of these big names in the industry are saying. Is I spent, for instance, just kind of a point here is, I've spent the last 2 days here in Chicago at MXD's Manufacturing Summit. And what we're doing here is we were presenting on worker safety and ergonomics, and Nalay Parikh, our CEO, did a phenomenal job. And what we're focusing on in that aspect is item identification. We're focusing on individual identification, PPE, what type of processes and applications are being followed, and what are the mundane tasks or the mundane practices, especially from a safety standpoint or a compliance standpoint. What can we eliminate so we can transfer and help focus our clients' employees to just simply focus on revenue generating tasks, or just invest in their own self-development within the company. Fun factory, one question I get all the time is, everybody, which is a valid, you look at it at a large scale in the United States, and there's this tension is, AI is going to come take your jobs. I know we're all familiar with Samsara and so forth. This is one thing is I actually asked about 6 months ago, one of our clients, I said, hey, have you seen any, friction, layoffs, et cetera, based on implementing this? And they said, no, we've actually cut down from 3 employees in one department to 1, and then transferred those 2 other employees because they were expanding their operations and able to add new business. So we're going to keep chasing this. There's a lot of folks in our space right now that are focused on safety, focused on compliance. I respect them. I think, I am biased. I think our team has done it the best. Our developers don't know the meaning of the word quit or cannot. So, we keep developing, and from safety, the reason we got into quality control and that type of focus is because of our client requests. Is we proved out the value in the initial application. We were able to help make strides for EHS and, all of those types of applications and folks. And so now we're really at the start of the year, we decided, hey, we're going to make this a priority for us and our customers within our roadmap. We've continued to develop to it. And so we're going to continue using this funding round to be able to, like I said, invest in our technology. We have some of the most just incredible engineers that I've had the pleasure of working with, and they are absolutely focused and razor tuned on what the market, in my instance, what warehousing, 3PL distribution, what are the needs and how are we actively filling them? And if we're not doing that today, how are we going to do them in 6, 9, 12, 18 months? As we all know, the supply chain is just the only thing constant in supply chain is chaos. And so the better that we can help mitigate and manage and make that visual aspect more attainable for your owner operators, for your supervisory staff and so forth. And then by default, everybody, second, third association within that chain, drivers, forklift drivers, dock and yard crew, et cetera. It sounds corny, but is I believe it's making the world and it's making our industry, 1, safer, 1, more expedient, but we're doing it smarter, not harder. And that's, so that's kind of a little bit about Arvist. I don't want to go too much. I appreciate you sharing, let me share a little bit about this, but yeah, I was excited about it. This is, for like I said, Malay Parik's the CEO. Arvist AI, we're based out of here in Chicago. I'm out of Kentucky. I love the bluegrass. I'm never going to leave, but this is very quickly turned into my second home. So yeah, we're going to keep chasing this. We're going to keep developing to our customers. If anybody, watching, but especially even if you're not a warehousing operation, 3PL, et cetera, is if you have questions, I'm a kind of guy, reach out to me on LinkedIn and ask. I hate when people pitch slap. I'm not somebody that does it. And so I'll answer questions. And if it makes sense, we can talk more. But if not, I'd rather, honestly, sellers, technical selling in this market is critical, especially with how quickly technology is advancing, and technical selling from the standpoint consultative, educational, informative, rather than trying to make a quick buck. So that's really where we've found a lot of success is, people talk about relationships, they talk about partnerships, they talk about working across focuses or departments or industries. And what our team's really been able to do is put action to word and walk the talk and talk the talk. So yeah, thanks. That's if you have any questions, feel free, but that's kind of who we are. I'm the director of sales, by the way. I don't know if I introduced myself in that regard, but that's kind of my focus here. I did have hair when we initially put that, or excuse me, I didn't have hair when we initially put that up there. Now based on my 7-year-old kept asking, she didn't remember what I looked like without hair. So I said, well, we'll give it the summer. And, but yeah, this is our team. And we brought on a couple more individuals since these. And so we're going to invest in just a lot of different areas, fundamentals to really just continue wise growth, wise stewardship of the resources that we've been given, and make sure that they impact our customers as much as possible.
That's awesome. I got a couple questions for you because
Yeah.
I grew up in warehousing, 37 years in it.
Nice.
When you say standardized quality control in real time, how did you detect left handle merchandise in right hand bags?
So that is a great question. And transparently, a lot of people, depending on the AI guy that you talk to, you might get a different answer. Right now, unboxed product is, for a lot of video models, difficult to track. So that's what we do right now is with that in particular, is we work with a couple folks that have some out of the box, for lack of a better phrase, tracking requirements, object requirements, and so forth. We're actively working with a lot of those folks right now. And the nice thing about these models is once we're able to work with them, we're able to train quickly. And with the back end that we've developed, we're able to then deploy that into a production level. And what we do is, depending on the project, I'll flat out tell somebody just respectfully, hey, we can't do this. We're not able to do it to this expectation at this moment. I said, but what I can do, or what I'll say is, we can give, grading scales or work with you and so forth on some of these kind of bespoke, for lack of a better term, projects. Now, thank you, Fitzroy. Appreciate it.
When you had those boxes going down the assembly line, and I saw you scanning, now I'm going to get deep. How do you identify concealed damage in those boxes after they've been packed in there? Because the more time you handle merchandise and you're putting them in their bags or in the boxes to be shipped, they're handled multiple times, right?
Right.
So are you able to detect concealed damage in that line once it's coming down and being QC'd?
So concealed damage at the moment, no. Infrared and kind of some of these options are stuff that we've talked about. Transparently, we are talking about. We haven't really taken a ton of action at this current moment to do that. What we do, though, is we have packing stations. For instance, we can watch both employee safety as well as quality as far as packing goes. So although it's not as granular as it one day in the near future will be, we're able to really hone in and tie that. And what we do is we integrate with the existing ERPs and WMSs. So everything that we're pulling and shooting out is coming and going immediately from either one of those systems. And then from that, what we do is one of the individuals, or excuse me, one of the operations that we work with is we had the damage rating, for instance, on the back of the box to say, hey, we want to track stains on this, or we want to track crushes on this. And then we can, read labels and so forth. So what we do is we have a standard quality control module that is what we call it. Another question I get asked often, I'm gonna insert this and then answer this at the same time, is it a SaaS product? And so it is a platform from the standpoint. We have a safety and compliance application or module and a quality control module. But one of the phrases or one of the acronyms that I heard back, honestly, I think it was around when COVID started kicking off, was logistics as a service. And I think that's a great kind of, at least in this stage of the game, that's a great encompassing term for what in particular we're doing in that regard within the warehouse. So I hope that answers your question. I want to be as honest and open as I can with the capabilities too. So,
cool. I'm like one of those kind of people that have foresight and try to outthink the thinkers.
Yeah,
when you're building
I respect it.
And doing beta tests on certain technology to see if it works or whatever, because I have that practical experience of working in the trenches and seeing that, where a lot of people who are developing these tools have not. They're engineers, right? They're out there, they're taking data and they're creating what is garbage in, garbage out, right?
Right.
I would love to talk to you a little bit more about that when you have time, because I love warehousing. That's where I started my career and did amazing things in there. And I like technology and what's being produced nowadays. So love to talk.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely we will. I appreciate you asking those questions too. Thank you.
So Aaron, we have another question for you, but it is not ArtVist related. Our good friend Long Haul Paul here says, how is Aaron getting such clean sound? He said, what is he using for a rig? How are you getting good sound, dude? You actually do sound freaking phenomenal, man.
Wow, awesome. I have my AirPods in, and I think it's also the fact that for once I'm in a quiet place. There's nobody else where I'm at right now, so there's no noise. But thank you. Yeah, I'm glad the sound's great.
There you go, Paul. Hope that answers your question. I hope Paul don't run out and get a pair of AirPods and then get mad at Aaron. He's gonna get mad at Aaron. That stinking Aaron guy.
This is not an endorsement. This is just my opinion.
Well, before I bring up I was going to bring up to Jeff, because Jeff had was talking about something and how cool it would be to have this. And funny enough, something I saw here on ArtVista's website made me think about it. Paul, you are very welcome, sir. You know that. You're always welcome. If you want to hang out, Paul, let me know. I'll shoot you a link, man. You know you're always welcome to come chill with us. Mr. Clint. How are you doing, Clint? Checking in with you, man.
Doing good, brother. How about y'all?
I am all right. Second question, I guess, is, are you medically cleared to be doing what you're doing right now, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. We're just making sure. How's it feel to be out of the office, man? I bet that shit was driving you crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've been back in the truck for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, dang, time flies, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I was just, I couldn't drive for 6 days. And then light duty for 6 weeks, but what's light duty driving a truck?
Gotcha. See, I mean, that's what I heard. I heard the 6 week part and the no driving part together. I didn't hear them separate. So I think that's what I was thinking was 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you back at the shop or the terminal, or are you about to unload somewhere?
No, I'm back at the shop. I'm trying to. Lightning Jack Custom sent me these templates. I'm trying to figure them out.
Dude, it was you, man. I was talking to Kenny Ziegler at Old Town Rig Down this weekend, and he's got getting some stuff from Lightning Jack. And I was telling him, I was like, man, I know someone else that is looking to get mats from them. And I was like, I think it's Clint, but I can't remember if it was you or if it was someone else, but it is you. So
yeah, we had it all figured out, and then I decided to put a valve in the floor for the train horns, and now I got to figure out cutting it out and sending them the pattern back for the train horn valve. Yeah.
So for y'all that don't know, Lightning Jack, they they do. I went on their site. They started in marine stuff, but the drivers have turned on to them, and they do laser cut custom floor coverings for trucks. So I can't remember the name of the place, but coincidentally, I think they're out of Chicago, Aaron. But Weathermat, I think is who it is. Weathermat, the people that laser cut. These guys are like that, but for custom truck builders, and they can do whatever you want. Put your logo on it. Man, I've seen some really cool designs by them. So they are like the new thing in the trucking industry, bro. Is having lightning jack floor coverings.
Yes, they're awesome. If I can ever get mine.
I heard they take a little bit, but that's good. I mean, they're custom made, so I can understand it though.
Yeah.
I think Kenny told me it took him a couple weeks to get his once you ordered them.
Yeah. Once you get all your patterns the way they're supposed to be and everything marked on them to where they're supposed to go, and get your templates cut out for your train horns, then it's all good.
Well, hopefully you'll have them. You should have them back by the time we go to Atlanta.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I'm good. I just got to get them sent back to them pretty quick here, so I can. Yeah,
That's what's
so
up.
I can get them made here. I don't
Look
know
at
how they want me to cut this out. So
the woes of a truck driver. That's what it is.
it's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, I know. Poor you pulling into the terminal at before 5 o'clock, and you're gonna go home tonight, sleep in your bed. Oh, we all feel so sorry for you, Clint.
I know.
He said, I got it hard, man. I got it hard. So, hey, actually, I'm gonna pull this back up, Jeff, because I wanted to point something out on this thing. If it does it again, actually, I think it's down here. So, Jeff, remember when we talk a lot about like pre-trips and stuff like that. You're one of the few people like myself that is a huge pre-trip stickler. I really feel like so many freaking problems could be avoided if people just really did good pre-trips and post-trips. But you had brought up a thing. Or brought up something before, about, man, with all this AI stuff that we have, someone should really come out with something to put at these shippers, or put at these terminals, that it reads the stuff on this truck, like it can look at the tire and say, oh, that tire looks a little low. Or, when it turns the lights on, a camera's looking at it and says, oh, hey, these lights are out or whatever. And seeing this right here, Jeff, how it picks up the forklift, it picks up his hard hat, it picks up his safety strap. Yeah. So like, I don't know, it made me think about that. I was like, wow, man, like if they could do it for this and it can pick out, oh, they're wearing the hard hat, he's got his safety strap on, he's got his safety vest on, then surely, possibly what you were talking about can't be, could be done,
Yeah. Y'all see this light right here?
Hold on, bro. Let me pull this down. Yes.
That would, if I have a low tire, that light comes on.
Well, that's lucky you. Not everyone has the fancy rig that you have, Clint.
So Clint, let me ask you this, right? Yeah. What happens if you have a faulty unit and it's not reading that tire? Are you still going to do your pre-trip inspection anyway?
Check them every morning.
Awesome.
Let me show you this. Let me show you one more thing here.
Yeah.
If y'all don't have these, Milwaukee, dude, is the best. This little tire inflator right here. Let's see if I can get it to see that.
Oh,
there you go.
That's a Milwaukee. It'll build up to 150 psi. I thump my tires every morning with a stick. Every other morning, I gauge every one of my tires to make sure they're gauged.
Clint, let me ask you this: as a truck driver out there, and you see a lot of truck drivers, how important do you feel that pre-trip and post-trip inspections are?
I feel they're great. I don't post-trip. I pre-trip every day. I guess I should post-trip, but I don't. But I'm back at the terminal every day. All of our drivers are pretty much. So we don't harp on post-trips that much. So
let me ask you this too. Do you think that owner operators are more diligent about checking out their equipment and doing pre-trip inspections compared to drivers who drive fleet trucks?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
Damn Jeff, man. He's like,
Don't.
Well, I don't.
He is, right? Jeff is eating. Sometimes I think Jeff was a cop at one point in his life. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? The way he does stuff, like when Jeff questions you, it's like you feel like that little, lights in your face. You know what I mean? It's shining right there.
I mean, it's important to talk to the people who are out there in the trenches, dealing with these people that are out there that, you could be at the same warehouse and you're doing a pre-chip inspection. You never see the guy get out of his cab to do his. And you're like, what the hell? They just cut corners left and right. A lot of them. And we talked about it, Pedro, before to Matt Leffler's statistic about 21.6% of all trucks out there, or 1 in 5 trucks, are OOS or unroadworthy for that simple reason. And then how many of those million trucks that are out there are OOS are owner operators compared to fleet trucks?
You know what, Jeff,
Okay,
is even.
so
I think even more bad statistic is that for every 100 drivers or every 100 trucks to go past you, every 100 companies, only 3 are rated by the FMCSA for safety. Those other 97, they don't know if they're safe or not.
See? Ridiculous.
What are you about to say, Claudia?
I disagree that fleet drivers are worse about doing pre-trips and post-trips than owner operators. The asset company that I worked with, that motor carrier, when I first started there, we had 1 fleet run truck. The rest of them were owner operators. And don't get me wrong, there are some amazing owner ops out there who do all of. I can name about 3 of them right now that if I had a fleet, like I would 100% do my best to poach them from my old company in a heartbeat because they are fabulous. Also, I've had a majority of owner ops who are like, it's my truck. I can do what I want. I don't care if you tell me that I need to have a pre-trip. I'm an owner. I'm the boss of my truck and I can do a pre-trip. I'll do a pre-trip when I feel ready to. So I mean, and as I've heard time and time again from like my generation and, grandpa and great grandpa, Jeff, and, building the pyramids and such, that these new drivers these days, it's new owner ops too, they're the same guys that are walking around with flip-flops and basketball shorts and muscle shirts with no sleeves are the ones that are, that sounds real. Yeah, whatever. I'm just going to go with that. The way you dress doesn't necessarily mean that you will or won't do your pre-trip, but the same ones that you're like just shaking your head about that they're even near a truck are the same ones that are not doing their pre-trips and post-trips, that are having the tire blowouts, that are causing safety issues like Dale pointed to. And we know how many of them are small, how many motor carriers are 5 trucks or less. Dale, it's 90 something percent, right? Of motor carriers are less than 5 trucks.
90% or less than 10 trucks.
Okay. 90% less than 10. And I'm just saying that with a fleet truck, with a fleet driver, you have the option, you have the ability to say, you are doing this pre-trip. This pre-trip is part of what you have to do. And yes, you can do the same thing with a carrier, like with an owner op, with a carrier that has an op signed on. But I think that the enforcement is harder, right? When you've got an owner op who's on versus when you're talking about a fleet driver. And fleet drivers, and I've seen it, like I've seen it so many times, because it's not just that you think about it like you do from the brokerage standpoint, guys. I mean, I don't know, but Aaron, you said you used to be at a brokerage as well, right? So if 5 of the 6 of you have all been in a brokerage, and when there's sales managers that they're a little bit sloppy and kind of risky, but they've got that real big book of business, and you just don't really want to come down super hard on them because you're like, but I just don't want them to walk with that book, and they can, and they didn't sign non-compete. Jeff, I know that you're going to say, I don't care, they can walk. Not everybody's like that. There's a massive number of companies that have to balance that. Whether they want to or not, there are some companies that don't have a choice. If they let that account manager walk, they let that driver walk. Maybe that account manager or driver has a lot to do with their bottom line and they're not ready to make that call yet. So I'm just saying, like, I look at owner ops like you do, like I think about when you think about sales managers with a book of business, when you're looking at an account, right? If that's a driver that they run hard. Do they break hours of service? No, they don't. They do all their stuff, but like, I just can't get them to do their pre-trips every time. I just can't get them to do this, but like, you just turn your head toward it because the return on investment for it.
Can I make 2 points on that? First point is the owner operator that says, it's my truck, I'll do what I want, you can't tell me to do it. He's breaking the same law to say, oh, it's my truck, I'll run out of service if I want to.
Yeah.
Still a law, you still have to abide by it. But the person that says, oh, that driver might leave our company, and if he does, it's going to cost us a lot of money. Well, if he kills a family of 5, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than that.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, I'm completely on board with that, but I feel the same way about I feel the same way about brokers when you talk about like not looking at risk properly, right?
Yep, right.
Like, oh, well, it doesn't matter that my customer actually requires this. It doesn't matter that we don't have that level of blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, it does. Yeah, it doesn't matter until it does. Yep. And it's the same. And it's the same way in that decision, the decision to book a carrier, because, oh my goodness, like I need to book them because if I don't, my customer's going to yell at me. Yeah. Okay. And then you lost your freight. Now you've not only gotten yelled, you haven't just gotten yelled at, you've lost the entire account for the whole company.
So here's the thing, Claudia, right? Being on the warehouse side, as long as I have been, and creating transportation agreements, there's a thing called requirements and expectations within the transportation agreement that you can put in there what you expect or the requirements of handling the account in the appropriate manner. And I used to put in there, right? Must do pre-trip inspections, right? $10 million I'm giving these carriers. You can either take 15 minutes out of your day coming and banging my dogs and do things right, or I'm going to take that $10 million away from you in a snap of the finger, because there's other responsible carriers out there that are going to do this the right damn thing and make sure that my brand, my image, just not myself, but my shipper's brand image and reputation is going to be covered in the right way by taking the right action. And anybody can do that. Anybody can add anything to a transportation agreement and making it clear up front before any freight is moved.
I made an agreement with my ex-husband that he wasn't going to fuck anybody else when we were married, but that shit didn't work out. Agreements don't mean shit until they're actually enforced.
I was about to say that. So if I chime in on this real quick, so everyone here has got great points. And I've been on both sides of this, or all sides actually. I've been on it as a driver. I've been on it as someone in charge of a fleet, and I deal with it now as a broker as far as when it comes to that stuff. And the problem with it is that it kind of like just what Claudia said, every bit of this, even the FMCSA regulations saying you have to do a pre-trip, they're just words on a fucking piece of paper. Who cares? There's nobody. I'm just making a point here, Jeff. I'm not arguing with you. All I'm saying is that there's nobody out there policing people to make sure this is done. And I'm not advocating to have someone from DOT out there at every damn truck stop every day and terminal every day. But I say that to say is that there's nobody out there policing them. You say, oh, well, I make them sign a DVIR. Who gives a shit? I could do that sitting in my driver's seat and never open my door. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you this, I had this exact same problem. And when I operated a fleet, and the reason I knew it was going to be a problem before it even happened was because I watched it when I was a driver. And this, what I'm about to say isn't me crapping on what you were saying, Claudia. I'm just giving an experience here. So I drove company driver my entire career, and almost everyone I worked for were very large fleets. I can tell you that a majority of those fleet drivers, especially the slip seat ones, when I worked doing local stuff, them guys never did. Yeah, you were given a pre-trip and you're supposed to go out to your truck, write everything down, and then bring it back in before you left. You know what they all did? They all went out there and they all stood in between the trucks, and they all stood out there and circle jerked each other for 30 minutes talking about what the hell they were going to do with the day. And then everyone just filled out their thing and they took it back inside. I witnessed it almost every single day of my career when I ran local. Me, I never, not one day, missed a pre-trip or a post-trip, and I also always did mid-trips, and which I've talked about this, how easy they are to do. You know, when you stop somewhere to go inside and pee, just get out your truck, walk down one side, take a quick look as you're walking way to the building, and when you come back, you take a look on the other side of walk up the other side of the truck, and you take a look at it when you're doing. That's just the way that I was taught way I was trained when I was a driver, is that, man, hey, things can happen rolling down the road. When you're driving for 11 hours, you know, you can blow a tire and not hear it. If you've been a driver, you know that. Just because a tire blows doesn't mean you're going to hear it. If you got that music up or there's a lot of other noise, there might be, you could drive 50 miles and never know that you blew a damn tire. You know what I mean? Same thing with the pigtail line. You know, dude, you could have made a sharp turn, snapped your pigtail line, and if it's not dark, you have no idea that you may have snapped that pigtail line until you get out of the truck and look at it. But I say that to say this is how I policed people when I was in charge of a fleet. When I would first start this place, all these guys every single day, they would do their DVIR and they would turn it in before they left. And I kept noticing, like, why is nobody writing that there's nothing wrong with these trucks? Like, you're trying to tell me there's no scratches, there's no dents, there is nothing wrong with these trucks. That is physically impossible for that to happen. So I told everyone, we had a meeting and I said, check this out. Starting Monday, I am going to, when all of you come back at the end of the day, because I'm the last person that leaves, I'm going to walk every single truck, or I'm going to pick 5 trucks every day, and I'm going to walk them. And if I find a problem with it, you're fucking paying for it, and I'm deducting it from your check. And everyone, oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can, and I'm going to. Because if you said that there's nothing wrong with it, and now there is something wrong with it, and there's dents and holes in it, well, you were the only one driving that truck, so someone's going to be held liable for it, and our company is not paying for it. And one guy had to pay for a hole in the top of a box truck. Don't remember what it cost him, but it was not cheap. And I'll tell you what, from then on out, every single DVR was filled out correctly. I hated to do it, and I hated to make an example, but again, here was my thought on it. You don't pay for these 50 trucks that sit out here. You don't pay for the insurance, the fuel, none of it. Later, Aaron, we have to take care of that. All these damages, everything. And we leased most of our vehicles too. And if you've ever leased a truck, you think that car leases are strict, go lease a semi and go turn that thing in with damage that was on it when it wasn't taken out, and see if they don't rake you across the coals when it comes to repair that stuff. So that honestly, I bet, to me, that's the problem. We can write all the rules we want, do all this stuff, but terminal managers, if you're not going out there and checking these trucks periodically and making sure that these drivers are writing the right stuff down, and you're not in some way policing people and holding them responsible, then people are just going to do what they want to do. Personally, I think you're a moron if you don't do a pre-trip every day. I really do. I think you're an idiot. I'm sorry. You can say what you say. I don't care if you got 5 months behind the truck or 50 years. You're an idiot if you don't do a pre-trip every single morning. What if you cut off someone pulling into that truck stop or the fuel island before you parked, and they went and pulled your kingpin latch? Huh? What if they went and pulled your pigtail, pulled one of your airlines, stuck a screwdriver in 5 of your tires? I mean, this sounds stupid, but these things happen every single day. Lefty, you're a driver, bro. You can attest to everything I'm saying is fact, man. You've been out there. I know you've seen that stuff.
The other thing is,
Memphis is bad for it right now too.
If you're the pilot of that ship or the pilot of that plane, just like any airplane pilot, he checks his truck before he goes, because he knows when that thing goes down, he's going to die in it too. So exactly. If drivers would just think let's just go back to being professionals, right? You shouldn't have to babysat if you're a professional man or woman in this industry. Do your job. The other thing is, when I had my fleet, I had 65 trucks. And what we did is, if they're local guys, we did a post trip, but the mechanic did the post trip. So he could fix it by the next morning when the guy comes out his pre-trip, and then he can check what the mechanic did wrong. Hey, you didn't catch this dude. So it was kind of a circle that we used to use. The post trip was done by the mechanic, the pre-trip was done by the driver.
Yeah, and I want to pull this comment up here from Miles. Miles says he lost a bearing cap yesterday. This comes to the importance of it. Miles, we've already said he drives in Australia. Sometimes he's near stuff, sometimes he's not. But there are plenty of places here in America that are just as desolate as it is in Australia. So, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not saying that a pre-trip fixes everything, because accidents happen. You know, things happen while you're rolling down the road. But, you know, would you rather catch that low tire that you need replaced or need a plug in when you're at a truck stop or near a shop in the morning, or would you rather get 5 miles down the road in the middle of nowhere and I've got to pay a roadside fee on top of the tire and everything else to come deal with it? So, yeah, I'm all.
Pedro, right to your point, when you were talking about going out there when you were fleet manager and walking and picking out certain trucks without telling them you were going to do it and then catching them on the fly. Well, you see, that's part of the process and work instructions that I used to create. You know, a lot of people in warehousing, when new management comes in, they go in there and minister what was already created. I ripped it up and started from scratch. Right?
Same here, brother.
And part of those duties was to train the dock supervisor on the inbound and also the outbound to go out there and do the pre-trip inspections with the driver. No excuses. Takes 15 minutes to check 8 items, to walk around there and do it right, especially the depth of the tread of the tire and all that kind of stuff. Because remember, and you know this too, Pedro, is that a driver could write down the depth of the tread, it was perfectly fine. 250 miles out, he blows a tire. He flips the truck, takes out a family of 4. Now the crash forensics investigators go out there and they see belts and hardly any tread on there. Do you think the guy did the pre-trip inspection? Hell no. He just forged that fraud right then and there. And now the company is going to face a nuclear verdict or a thermonuclear verdict because he fraudulently filled out paperwork, handed it in, and never really did it. That's the reason why you do that. And especially on the pre-trip inspections are not done on the way to the dock when you bang it. It happens at the dock to tell the shipper that it was done and everything at the time that trailer was loaded was in perfect operational order. Whatever happens, because remember, on the way to a shipper, anything can happen. It's the same when you get dispatched from that shipper, right? But the thing is that it's noted that those specific 8 items on that checklist were checked out, verified by the dock supervisor, because you train them as well, not hard to do, right? And they took off and then an accident happened, right? You're minimizing the chances, minimizing the risk. And you know, because remember, your brand image and reputation is in that trailer, all involved: broker, carrier, shipper, you, brokerage, right? You don't want that on your shoulder, my friend. When a fatality happens, you don't want to carry on the rest of your life knowing that you cut corners and the guy killed somebody. You do not want that.
You know, one thing Pedro mentioned, the random checks of trucks. I was in DC this last couple of days, and we're talking about a lot of things that, you know, Congress is working on, FMCSA is working on, all those kind of things. One thing that I kind of thought was kind of cool, they're really pressing down, and everybody had the same issue about it, is like break week. We're going to check all your breaks this week. So the bad guys stay at home, take the week off. Everybody else does their thing. That's going to be eliminated. They're going to say, this is a random check, and we're not going to tell you what we're checking this week. Just the law enforcement folks will know it. And every state may be different. So that's probably
the way it should be.
That's.
I've always thought that was stupid too, Dale. It's like telling the drug dealer you're going to raid their house. You know what I mean? Just so you know, we're going to be there between 5 and 5:30 to kick your door in. You know what I mean?
They got to operate like OSHA. OSHA in any state throughout the country does not have to notify the shipper that they're going to come in and do a spot check. Mm-hmm. That's the way they should do it on the road too. They just show up, they pull them off random, like Dale said, and do an inspection. Don't tell them when they're going to do that. Then everybody is going to, you know, be on high alert. Is it going to be this time? Well, I better take care of my truck. I better do all this kind of stuff because I don't want to get fines or go OOS or whatever. I mean,
like you said, I hate to say it, but they need to take a lesson after Georgia, because that's what Georgia does. They get 10 or 12, and then they just start popping trucks. They don't tell you what it's for or what. You just see them there. Next thing you know, there's a line of them. And that's what they're doing.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this. You really don't. It's like a surprise attack. When nobody knows that it's coming, that's when you get the damn bad guys off the road. period.
Yep,
End of
exactly.
discussion, because they're going to be more cognizant of their equipment.
When I was in the Marine Corps, they used to have, I was on the commanding general's inspection team, right? It was my job to go out and inspect places and see what they're doing wrong, see if they're mission capable and all those kind of things. And we had this general that said, well, let's set up our inspection schedule for next year, right? And I just said, I don't think the guys in Pearl Harbor had like notice, right? So you got to go in there and see if they're ready for war today. They're ready for an attack today. Let's do this inspection without them knowing. And we would go and show up these places and really catch some people with their pants down. But that's how war works. Right. It's no different here. That's how it's war on the highway. So you got to inspect them when they least expect it, because that's when they're most vulnerable and that's when they're most unsafe.
Exactly.
Enough about that.
Right.
Miles, yeah. I'll shoot you a link on LinkedIn, Miles. Hold on.
On that note, it's almost like when the cops advertise there's going to be a DUI checkpoint somewhere. People just go around it. And yeah, I think they should eliminate DOT week as well and just do it random. And I never had a CDL, but when I worked at UPS, they were real strict. We had to do pre-trips, post-trips, any little thing that we noticed. We had a notepad with, carbon paper on it, and we would write that slip out, turn it in. If anything was wrong, the mechanics would grab it. And then also, at most facilities, we had car washers, and they would make sure the tires were topped off and, wash the trucks. If there was anything wrong with them, take them to the mechanics, which were in-house, and then, basically fuel them up on property. So, I never stopped at a gas station when I worked at UPS, ever.
The irony of that is I don't think I've ever seen a UPS truck on a tow truck.
Nope. No, they really do maintain them well. And I was a supervisor, so I was expected to be the example. Oh, they break down from time to time.
I have towed a few back in my day in Florida.
But it's not, it's not like you see, not as many. No. I've seen a hell of a lot more Swift trucks and, other trucks on tow trucks. And but
you'll see more trucks on the back of it.
Yes. So for the most part, you don't see one packed on the side of the road with a flat tire. You don't see, you don't really see that stuff.
No, hey, Dale, a subject, because you were down there in Washington, D.C., was there any chatter about Byron Robinson's H.R. 5177 ELP?
Yes. It's the thing about that whole ELP thing is that it was a law a long time ago, for 100 years.
Yes.
Then in 2016, President Obama signed, the Secretary of Transportation at that time under Obama signed a regulation that says you can't put him out of service for it. Dumb. And then, President Trump just exchanged the order. But so now this new bill is really trying to get it so that, we look at states. If a guy's an intrastate carrier, like in Texas, and I think that their governor's is overturned and already done executive order. But if you're a DOT intrastate carrier, you're not bound by FMCSA regulations in accordance with ELP. So in certain states, you can be that interstate driver or that intrastate driver with a big, 80,000 pounds still going down Highway 35 and kill somebody. So that's what that bill is going to make better. And it's also going to tighten up the non-domicile CDLs and, all those kind of things. Here's the problem that's happening right now, and we talked about it a little bit this week up there, is that all these guys that are coming off the road now that can't speak English, driving big trucks, are buying Sprinter vans, and they're buying small box trucks.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that. Yeah.
You don't have to speak English in one of those because they're not a commercial motor vehicle.
For 10,000.
They'll drive 30 hours if they want to, because there's no ELD requirement. So I wrote an article about this not long ago, and I brought it up to some folks at the FMCSA. I have this just idea that says, what difference does 1 pound make? If you're at 10,000 pounds and you go to 1 pound over, you have to now have an ELD. You have to have your DOT number on the door. You have to all those kind of things. But who in the hell is policing that? Who's looking at that shipper to say, oh, shoot, this is at 11,000 pounds. So now, the truck now is 11. No one's watching that. What if someone puts on 1,000 pounds of hazmat on that Sprinter? That's now a commercial motor vehicle. I don't care if the thing is a bicycle or a heavy haul.
Yep.
DOT number on the door, same rules, same regulations. So,
but see, the thing is, half the shippers are not paying attention to that because they're not up to date on the certifications of what that means.
Right. No,
they're not certified and they are not trained properly. Big problem right there.
Also, they don't have to hit weigh stations either.
Nothing. And the other problem is that state patrol and most weigh stations don't know that regulation either, because they don't know what it means not to be a commercial motor vehicle. They see a Sprinter go by and he just goes by. We got to change that. The other thing is it costs a hell of a lot less. You know, these guys, fraudsters, are brilliant. They're very smart people. That's their return on investment is way higher than ours will ever be, right? So they know that. So if I have 18 tires under me, that costs a lot of money. If I have 4, I can still make $1.30 a mile in a Sprinter van, but now I can drive 1,200 miles in a day. I'm going to make just as much money, not have much expense, but I can even do it for 90 cents a mile because my expenses are way lower than that guy that's taking care of business. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Miles, hey, hold on, Miles. Just so you know, I muted you, Miles, because I know you're on the road. You got a lot of background noise. So whenever you want to talk, just let me know and I'll unmute you so you ain't got to fidget with it.
But those are things that we need to have Congress work on, because those are easy things that, you know, a lot of things take enforcement to pass, like, you know, principal place of business, all those kind of things. But this is something that if you just make it a law that says, hey, if you got to do it, falls under the same rules as everybody. Now everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Oh, there you
Hey,
go, Miles.
guys. Sorry, I just quickly, you're talking about your DOT. So we got the same thing over here where they'll pull us in. They got a shaker, they got scales, the whole 9 yards. They now got AI. When you roll in, they look at the tires, look at the driver, the whole 9 yards. If you try and blow that scale, it's going to cost you $2,000 minimum. Okay. Now, when they take you over, they do a full inspection on your vehicle. They have a good look at everything. If they think that vehicle needs to go on the shaker, they'll put you on the shaker. Now, what the shaker is, it tests your brakes. It moves all your axles around to test your bushings and stuff. And they do a full inspection. They got pits and everything here. And there's no announcements. There's no, we're thinking about doing it. You get pulled in, you get checked out. You know, I see so many trucks leaving those places on the back of tow trucks. So yeah, Australia, like, I know America has their freedoms, but you know, I think just listening over the last 2-3 years, hearing how, you know, you can go in, but you don't actually have to go in. You know, if you really want road safety, you have to be a little harder on the drivers. Pre-trip inspections. I got an ELD. I have to do the pre-trip on my ELD every morning. I have to get out, do a walk around. When I start the truck, they like to see the bonnet flipped over so they can make sure that we've actually done it. Anyway, I'll mute myself and shut up now.
You know what? I actually got a question for Miles. Do you know offhand, Miles, you know, any of the statistics as far as safety records in Australia as combined to the U.S.? I know that's kind of hitting you with a really technical question, but I'm kind of curious, you know, if you guys have less accidents on average and, you know, what that equates to because of it.
I couldn't say, to be honest. You got to remember, we got a much smaller population here in Australia. Like,
okay, yeah, that's
smaller.
Fair.
Okay, I'll just try and turn my camera around. I'm going across the back of Sydney at the moment. Oh, hang on, that was the wrong one. Back. Yeah, I know. Shut up, you pack of bastards. Don't pick on me. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm on one of the major toll roads around the back of Sydney.
So kind of like a parkway here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what's the time? It's 8:30 in the morning, and this is the traffic. I'm doing about just a bit under 50 mile an hour, which is around 80 kilometres an hour for my Canadian friends, if there are any listening. Oh, hang on, they know it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so yeah, I'm cruising along. This is what it's normally like.
Okay. Yeah, if you saw the parkway around Pittsburgh at 8:30 in the morning, it does not look like that.
yeah. And this is under heavy construction at the moment. They're actually adding a third lane.
That's heavy construction.
Okay.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Construction, where?
Hang on.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm glad you guys got it pretty nice there.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the construction.
And it's funny. I don't know. Well, I assume it's like this in every city, but the drivers that drive on the parkway are typically more aggressive, in my experience, than the drivers that drive on the regular highway, like 79 or whatever. So where the parkway merges with 79, I can always tell for a few miles if a driver just got off of the parkway, because on average they're more aggressive. Not
Dude,
kidding.
It's like that down here, man. Like you know, in Texas, everyone's doing 1,000,000 miles an hour anyway because the speed limit's 75. But on one of the main toll roads here, the speed limit is 85. And they might as well take them damn speed limit signs down, dude. If you were in the fast lane doing 85, people are on your ass, like honking, flashing lights, telling you to get over. They are just, it is like a NASCAR track. And I agree. It is like that on any toll road or parkway anywhere in America. I don't know what it means. They're like, if I'm paying for this shit, I'm gonna go as fast as I want. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Well, I think the thing with the parkway is they're always so congested, everybody gets aggressive, and then when they hit the regular highway, just a phenomenon I noticed. And, when I was at UPS, there were certain roads that were really bad in the morning, but if you were going the opposite way, you were fine. Route 51 and 28 are like that. One side will be jam-packed, and then, inbound's jam-packed, outbound's not. But I just think the congestion, in my experience, produces more agitated drivers, and that carries over when they get off the parkway or the toll road, and it carries on to whatever road they're on for a few miles before they calm down.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'm at the point in my life where I'm just agitated driving, period. Like I hate driving, dude, at this point. I do. Like every time I get in the car, she's like, you're always so aggravated and mad. I was like, yes, because I'm surrounded by nothing but idiots driving in 2-ton death machines, and nobody but me seems to be paying attention to what is going on. So like,
it's so much more relaxing when I drink and drive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny what you were just saying, because when I get in my truck, right, I am the worst person. Like, I'll sit right up your dot in the fast lane. If you aren't having a go, get the fuck out of my way. Go. Get in the slow lane. Get in the slow lane, go with all the rest of the numpties, get the hell out of my way. I got somewhere to be. If they don't, I go into the slow lane, then I chop them up and I give them the blinker to get over. Then they get upset and then they follow me at speed.
Oh my God, fucking Miles. Miles, Lee Schmidt. Oh, go ahead, Miles.
But when I'm in the truck, I'm the total opposite. I'll just sit back, I'll relax. I get paid by the kilometre. But I just cruise along. I'm in 130,000 pound death machine.
That's me though, Miles. See, like I want to drive like that in my car. Like I just want to get on the damn highway. I want to put on my cruise control, and I just want to cruise. That's what I want to do. Nobody knows what cruise control is anymore. Everyone is driving like they're on the way to their mother on her deathbed or something, and it's horrible, man. Horrible. And I don't know, to the point I don't like it like doing anymore, driving much anymore. Josh, we are doing a driver appreciation week segment. That's what this is right now. We're talking about things that drivers should care about. And we have 2 drivers on the show, Lefty and Miles. So we're appreciating at least 2 of them. Okay, give us a break, Josh. Miles.
Well, no.
Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
The cruise control thing. When I was a landman, me and my buddy Brock would ride down sometimes together to West Virginia, and it's like a 5.5 hour drive. And going up and down the hills, you inevitably get that guy. You know, he speeds up for a while, slows down. You got to pass him. He ends up passing you, getting in front of you, and then he slows down again. And Brock used to get so pissed off when he was driving. He would actually put his right foot up and he's pointing at his foot and yelling cruise control out the window at people.
I don't understand why people, my wife doesn't use it. No one no one in my immediate life that I've talked to uses cruise control. I mean, I don't know. I became a cruise control fan because of my injury from the Army, and like I just can't hold the pedal down. It would hurt my leg and stuff too bad. And then as a driver, like, dude, when you're a driver in a slow ass truck, bro, like, what's the point of holding down the throttle? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just put it on cruise control, dude. And it's better for your fuel mileage, even in your car. Even in your car, it's better. And here's the thing. You don't have to worry about weaving in and out of traffic when everyone just sets their damn cruise control. Here's something amazing. Go on the highway with you and 5 friends and say, I don't care, dude. I use it in the city on city streets. If it's, I swear to God, bro.
He's got cruise control at 25.
No, not 30, not 25, but I am cruise control king, dude. I am it. But you know what? That's why I get over 30 miles per gallon in my car.
I object to using cruise control in trucks, because if you fall asleep, like, look, I know it's probably a lot different over there. I don't think trucks should have cruise control in them. It's one of the worst ideas. You have a micro sleep in a truck, okay? You have a micro sleep. In that moment that you have that micro sleep, your head goes forward, your hands drop off the steering wheel, your foot.
Just like that.
You're going off the road and you aren't slowing down. You are not slowing down. You're hitting that wall or that fence, or you're going off the road full noise. Whereas if you don't have cruise control on and you fall asleep, as soon as you get bumped, your foot comes straight off the accelerator, the Jake brakes come on, and you start slowing down. Yeah, you're still going to do damage, but a lot less damage will happen is if you on cruise control. An old fella I knew many, many years ago, when he got his first modern truck, he went from, he had a W model, an 80s model W model. It had an 8V92 in it, twin turbo supercharged, with a 21-speed Spicer behind it. When he finally traded that in, he got a brand new, I think it was a 904 at the time. What we call a 90 or a 904 is pretty much your W model. He got this brand new 90. It had cruise control in it. It had all the luxuries that a man could ever want in his life. He loved it. First time he fell asleep, because he was on cruise control, the bastard kept going. He went through about 4 fences on the bloke's property along the Hume Highway, and it didn't stop until it bogged. And he was about 400 metres off the road before it come to a rest. So...
Yeah, I agree on the commercial trucks for sure. But again, we're talking passenger vehicles. And, the thing with a lot of the passenger vehicles now, if you come up on another car and you're going faster than they are, the cruise control will actually adapt. So,
I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you, Miles.
Yeah, I never saw it from that perspective. I'll give it to you. Yeah, you're right, Anthony. I agree with you too on that, Miles. I never thought about it from that perspective.
Well, the trucker side of you,
sorry to be a trucker. And
nah, man, you're right.
Yeah. Actually, is it Aaron, the gentleman from the AI company or whatever it is that does the checking?
Yeah, but he had to hop off because he had to go to a dinner. But yes, Aaron was his name.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask him a question because I did hear him talking about safety and that, safety audits with the AI. And I was just wondering, did they just say this is what has to happen, or did they actually involve the workers in it as well to see, because so many times you get these college educated people who've never had a job and they put all these safety things in, and I 100% understand they've got to do these things for safety. But they put all these ideas in, they've never held a job, and they actually make the job more dangerous than it was before through their safety.
That's happening with us. That's happening with us. Hours of service and all those kind of things that the guys in Washington, D.C. making decisions that have no idea what they're even talking about. Thank goodness they're starting to listen to drivers who've been on the road saying, hey, we got to break up sleeper berth. We got to break up these kind of things. And Duffy's listening to that. And we're seeing that come out with some legislation now. So finally, I know one thing for a fact after being in D.C. for the last 4 days, is that they are listening to the industry for the first time in a long time. They are doing what we're saying we've been asking for a long time. There's no comparison to old Pete and new Sean.
What you should be doing is having a look at the Australian model for driving hours. We get 12 hours to do our driving in, and maybe put that, like, grab our legislation regarding driving hours, having a look at it, going through it, and maybe cherry picking some of the really good stuff out of it, and maybe be able to get you guys from 10 hours to 12 hours driving so you can get a bit further in your day.
Yeah, see, they do that on some state levels, Miles. That's another weird thing about like regulation in America when it comes to trucks is like everyone falls under, for the most part, DOT. But if you're intrastate, you have different rules, like in Texas. So when I ran local in Texas, we ran 12-15. That's what it is in Texas. It's work 15 hours on duty and 12 hours total driving time. But obviously the second you left the state and you went interstate, it was 11 driving and 14 hours on duty. And a lot of states are like that. They have their own like rules. As long as you only operate within the state borders, like they have some pretty expansive and I would say better in some ways, driving rules, hours of service, some other things. But it's a really weird system over here, and we have that for a lot of stuff. I mean, same thing with like automobiles. One state may require an inspection for your car, one state may not require an inspection. One state may require this and that. So it's so stupid. And honestly, Miles, I would say what I think the problem is really over here is kind of go back to what you were just saying about the college kids. Is we had a lot of people that initially made these regulations that they'd have no fucking clue about driving a truck. You know what I mean? Like it's always politicians making rules for other people for things that they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
Go ahead, Lefty.
I mean, it's like for the longest time, we've had people up there making laws that have never been in a truck, around a truck, or know what a driver has to go through or anything. And the only thing I can say is this administration's actually got someone smart that's willing to listen to drivers and actually hear what is actually going on to make changes. We've been needing this for years. We've had groups go up there, all kinds of different groups, never got anything done, suffer a little bit of this here or a little bit of that there, but it was not enough to make a difference. Then you had your megas. Your megas are the ones that come in because they have the funding. And they can sit there and push, the liberals are not liberals, but you know what I'm talking about. They were able to get the funding and be able to push the people to push
lobbyists.
Their agenda. Yeah, lobbyists.
Yeah, dude, you had me thinking. I'm like, I know it's an L word. I'm
like, it's there. It's on the tip of my tongue. But this is what we run into, and this is the problem. But we also got to get. And here's the other biggest problem is we do have to get shippers on board with this type of suggestion. The reason why I say is because shippers do not understand what drivers have to go through or what they're dealing with or on their time. Hey man, I don't care if your clock's up or not. Get the hell off the property and get down the road. You can't do that. when you're stuck somewhere, you cannot move that thing. Well, you can, but then this is where we're running with, the e-log crawl and everything else, and you're actually ending up getting yourself in trouble. And I mean, it's really easy to prove it because all I got to do is look at your cell phone and go, oh, well, you were here and you did the e-log crawl to here. I mean, you're I mean, it's just things. And then they're also talking about that they want to go ahead and remove, we were just talking about this the other day, talking about your PT, I mean, your personal conveyance. They were talking about getting rid of it because certain people are
They abuse it, bro, too
overusing
much.
it.
Yeah.
Personal
I mean, I don't think we
convenience.
should get rid of it, but they do abuse it. Sorry,
personal
Charles.
conveyance. No, go ahead. No, but you guys are good. But you understand where I'm coming from. This is what we've been talking with, and this is what we've been dealing with. But this is a lot better side because we're actually getting more information from like Dale, and it's been up there and understanding what's going on there, which also understands where we're coming from down here.
Here's
it's not just that I'm just a driver, but I talk about it too. So
here's the thing that's changed, I think, most in the political landscape in the last probably 4 or 5 years. Is that it used to be all the money from lobbyists to pay for these guys to get reelected and everything. Now social media has taken way control of that. Because now, if you don't listen to what those guys say on Twitter, they ain't voting for you. And that's way more important than money. And there's a lot more dollars in that guy voting for you or not. Why do you think that, when this big thing came on about English language proficiency, that wasn't somebody in the halls of Congress. That was a bunch of drivers and shippers and carriers and people on the road saying, yes, get them off the highways. And that's what they listen to. So I always tell people, if you got a good, real grievance, get on Charles' show. So you put it on the radio, get on Twitter. That's who they're listening to. I don't think the lobbyists are as powerful as they used to be. I think the people are starting to be powerful, and that's what we got to be doing.
No, look what happened today.
Go ahead, Charles. Sorry about that, brother.
No, you're good, man. Look what happened today. We had the CEO of Warner get on and address all the noise that was happening there, and then talk about driver appreciation, talk about the visas, talk about the accident. Hell, I even commended him. I'm like, thanks for fighting for that.
Yeah,
we appreciate that shit.
Yeah. I think that's what makes a difference. And I honestly believe that's why they're listening, because it's not the money anymore that's pushing. The lobbyists I think people are so concerned. 90% of the people that are in office, all they're worried about right now is if they're going to get reelected the next term. So now let's make them worry more about that. There's more of us than there are dollar bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, and social media is fast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you get these stories pop up and it's all over the place. You can't hide anymore.
Right.
Everybody has cameras everywhere. Everyone's on socials.
And
so
politicians have a camera on them too. What are you doing about it? If it's nothing, that's all over Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yep. It's like the way it started out with the shot that was heard around the world. It's in your hand. You got it. You don't have to sit there and go do a newspaper. It's in your hand. Within seconds, it spread it out to 30, and then they spread it out to another 100,000. And then and that's within 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, to piggyback off of that too, I mean, it happens so quick on social media. Like if you look at the Charlie Kirk shooter, 4chan actually figured out who that was way before the feds did or the police. My girlfriend shared it with me. I didn't share it publicly because it wasn't verified, but I mean, the people are starting to police themselves.
Yeah.
And, prefer that over the government policing us. I mean, that's actually kind of a good sign.
Well, look at how long it's taken for even MAP 21 was signed by Obama in 2012. A lot of those regulations still haven't happened. It's been 12 years. But when we have a guy that makes a U-turn in front of somebody and we get the ELP in there, it was 5 days, right?
Yeah.
It makes a difference by getting out there and talking about it.
Yeah, instead of it being put down in a story somewhere and hidden for a while.
Yeah.
Trump, I mean, most of them don't want to put that out there because they want to keep it hush hush. But
this isn't, I don't think, honestly, in my heart, I believe this after seeing some of the things I've just seen and watched happen. I think when Trump says he loves truck drivers, he loves truck drivers. I really believe that with all my heart.
I agree. He seems to love working people in general.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a
He
passion.
wants to see everybody working.
Right.
hmm
Yeah,
And that was his motto from the very beginning when he did the first term. He wanted everybody off of government. He wanted them off of food stamps. I want you working, making the money, and then you can have it yourself. You make your future, not just depend on what everybody else has been telling you for years. Live off the government. They'll take care of you. They're your best people. No, the best person is you, yourself, and I. And then it comes, family. You take care of family when you're done.
That I think a lot of the representatives and senators are really getting. I mean, they're getting a lot of noise in from constituents, right? And one of the things that they're really starting to understand is by having fraud and having all these non-domicile CDLs, you're driving the price of insurance up for the good guys. You're lowering the prices because of the bad guys, and the good guy keeps losing every time in the middle. So if we get rid of the bad guys, and I think that when Mr. Bowers comes in, I think he's going to do a lot of things to maybe get rid of those bad guys. Now we can start lowering the insurance premiums back down again. The rates have to go up because there aren't a bunch of knuckleheads charging 60 cents a mile to drive, out of Miami, or into Miami. So I think there's going to be a lot
of dead end freight. Yeah.
We got to just keep pushing it. We got to keep saying, like, non-domicile CDLs, how's it coming? Are you getting rid of these guys? Are we going to do a TWIC card that says if you own a trucking company, before you can apply, you have to have a TWIC card? So I know that when you say you're in Pakistan, or when you say you're in Pittsburgh, or you're really in Pakistan, we got to know that. You don't get to have your authority. And so we can even say it's nothing racist. It's nothing against foreigners. We're just saying you have to have a TWIC card. And it just so happens you have to be a U.S. citizen to get one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that we got to keep raising the bar for entry into this industry. Just fucking period, man. Just period.
Well,
I mean, here we are talking about drivers and stuff, but I mean everybody, even for shippers. I mean, people. I mean, I've been screwed by so many of them, and it ain't even funny. You know what I mean? I think it's just too easy to get in this industry, period, and say, "Hey, I've got a truck, put freight on me," or "Hey, I'm a broker, let me move your freight," or "Hey, I own a company that has something I want to ship, let me put it on your truck and promise you that I'm going to pay you something." I don't know what it is with logistics, and I'm sure there's other industries that are like this, probably like construction, stuff like that, you know what I mean? But it's just so easy to get in this thing. It is. I mean, as a broker, what do you got to have? A couple $1,000, and most of that goes towards your bond. You know what I mean? Yep. A carrier, all you got to be able to do is get a truck and get it to pass a DOT inspection. I mean, that's freaking it, and I have said this for a long time, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but I really feel that this is the problem with so many things within our society, our world, period, but especially with our industry is the people who are in control of this for the most part. This is free money. This is free money to the government. Like I keep saying that. Like this is why I feel the FMCSA that needs to be gone. No government appointed people. Period. Zip. Zilch. Nada. Finito. Out of here. You can call it FMCSA if you want, but it ain't no government people. They do not get paid by the United States government because this is a cash cow for them. I mean, I'm not saying that to negate everything that y'all are saying about them making change, but they're doing it slowly, and it's what the point y'all made. They're only doing it when people start complaining, and it makes national news, and they look bad. And they only do enough to not change it enough to where that $300 for every MC keeps rolling in. The insurance companies aren't stopping enough because they're still getting all those premiums. They don't give a shit whether you're a fraud broker or a crap carrier, as long as you pay your premium at the end of the month. I don't know what is the solution or what fixes it, but we have really got to start making it harder to get an MC number, to get a DOT, to be a broker, to be a carrier, to even be a shipper and post loads out on DAT or given to brokers. And again, I don't know what the fix is, but what it really comes down a lot to is that this is just in America, a $1.9 trillion a year business. Just put that into perspective. Trillion with a T. I mean, yeah. Where is the reason for anyone to really do something when money flows like that? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
What I was going to say is, from what I've been reading and what I understand supposedly as of September the 1st of this month was supposed to be the end of the MC numbers. You couldn't get them. You have to revert back to a DOT number.
Well, same thing. You still have to pay for it. You still have to pay $300, $400, $500 for it. You know,
but this makes it more legal, and more accountable, because now you're not just doing an email and going, all right, I got an MC number. All you need is an email. This way, you got to have a physical address, social security number, a name, everything that's got to go with it with the DOT number, and you have to have that in order to run your business now.
Well, everybody has to have a DOT number, but the MC number, they planned on abolishing that. Well, they've been saying since 1996. After deregulation, the MC number wasn't regulated by the FMCS anyway. It was just a marker, right? Then deregulation hit in 1980. 1996, they ratified it and said, okay, we're going to start getting rid of DOT numbers now. That was 1996. Back in April at MATS, Ken Riddle was on the stage, said that we're going to get rid of, last year, they were going to get rid of MC numbers by October of this year with the first modernization of the new URS, the user registration system. I went and talked to the agency before MATS this year and said, let me paint this picture for you if you get rid of MC numbers right now. What's the first question that's asked when someone wants to take a load or give a load? What's your MC?
What's your MC? Yep.
How many TMS systems don't even have DOT numbers in them yet? How many insurance companies and factoring companies work by MC numbers yet because they haven't transitioned? So if we got rid of MC numbers on October 1st, like they had planned before I went in there, we put this industry in chaos because there are a lot of DOT numbers that match the same numbers as an MC number. That's going to cause confusion.
Yes, they do. Oh, yes.
That's a huge problem. The other important problem is that there are 3 systems within FMCSA that track contact data. One is the motor carrier management information system called MCMIS, which most people know as company snapshot. The other side is licensing and insurance, which covers the MC number and all those kind of things. So there's 2 databases there. And most carriers look at snapshot. Most brokers look at L&I. Those systems don't match. So if you looked at L&I, there are 177,000 companies who have an inactive MC number, but have an active DOT number in MCMIS. So if they shut off 177,000 MC numbers, what you've done is just made them all active. They all now have an active, and we could have kicked them out 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You now have 177,000 companies that didn't have an active MC number. That's all wiped away. They now have an active DOT number. They're back in business. And the pushback I got was they could be intrastate companies, right? They could just have a DOT number. Well, I don't buy that because there's only 330,000 active motor carriers right now. I doubt 177,000 of those are intrastate carriers. Even worse, 66,000 of those companies are brokers. I've never, ever, ever in 32 years met an intrastate broker.
Yeah, and on the driver safety note too, what I wanted to throw in there is there are a lot of crap driving schools out there that are churning out drivers that are not properly trained. And again, I'm not, I never had a CDL, but at UPS, I mean, the standards for driver training are just off the charts, really good. And as a supervisor, you're expected to know those even better because you're the one out there training, you're the one out there, following drivers around, making sure they're adhering to the rules. But, we were talking about how Pedro hates driving. UPS kind of ruined driving for me because after you're trained at that level, it's really hard to deal with people that aren't on the road. You're like, what the hell are you doing? And so I think that's a nexus point between all of this is I'm not a big regulations kind of guy when it comes to private life or anything like that. But when we're dealing with commercial vehicles, there have to be some better standards with the driving schools. And I'll finish with this. I'm a huge believer in knowing how to drive a standard transmission. I've trained a lot of UPS guys on how to drive one. They used to that was one of the things I was best at. So, all the new drivers, they would have me drive around the building with them in the parking lot on Saturdays when I was doing air and teach them how to drive a stick if they didn't know how. And although there are a lot of automatic, semis out there, you should have to learn on a stick. I'm very firm believer in that.
I think that your test should have to be taken by a actual government agency, and it should have to be in a standard transmission. After that, if you want to get into an automatic, great. But until then, the other thing that I think that we need to really look at is FMCSA's middle name is S for safety. So let's take all the registration stuff and put it really where I think it belongs, because it is a national security issue. Put that with the Transportation Security Administration, same people that issue TWIC cards. Let them determine who gets to come in and get their authorities. Then once they're in, FMCSA takes over as far as the safety thing. But they have to have their entry audit done, not at 12 months, not 18 months, but before they get their authority.
Yeah,
Charles,
I like that.
Mr. Gracie, what say you?
Yeah, hey, Charles, we left.
I'm sorry.
He's been so well behaved.
I have talked for the last 3 hours. It's kind of refreshing to sit back and just listen.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did just
last
off your
4
show.
hours. I had Dale on before that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We had a good show today. I think we're talking again Friday, right?
Yeah.
Friday, I think we're on. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on Serious with me Friday. Today you were on Cents Per Mile with Rob Carpenter and Sam Watts.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Ooh, the safety goats.
Yeah.
Those are my guys, man. I was just texting Rob before the show.
No, and yesterday's show was awesome. I had a broker on there that not only thanked all the drivers, but then apologized on behalf of all brokers everywhere to the drivers. And then he had drivers calling in, and he kept having to apologize. We had him in the fetal position. Someone should probably do it on stage.
It's crazy.
And we recorded video content for it, so it's going to be out there.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
What are we talking about tomorrow? I think I'm coming on your show tomorrow.
It's all Driver Appreciation Week.
Oh, okay.
So like we're just going in there talking. I think tomorrow it's Thankful Thursday, so we're going to be giving thanks, talking about what true appreciation means. Versus,
I'm gonna come on there and just trash drivers, bro. I'm gonna come on there and just trash them.
Yeah, I'll send them we'll announce your email so they can send.
That's fine. That's fine. Pedro at the logisticslounge365.com.
No, chilling at the Logistics Lounge.
Oh, you can send it there. That just means Hunter has to read it too. I'm saying just send it directly to me. You know?
Oh wait, if I send it there, Hunter. Oh yeah, we're definitely sending it there.
Hey, you guys were just talking about driver training here in Australia. A couple of large training agencies just had their licenses revoked, and also every driver who went through those driving schools have had their licenses revoked and had to go and redo training to make sure that they pass their competencies to have their licenses. Now, I'm not being racist here, but the school was run by people with names like Jan Preet and, you know, those sorts of names. And the people they were training also had names like Rajesh and stuff like that. And their whole system's been shut down and all their licenses have been rejected. So we've just got rid of a whole heap of really bad drivers off the road here in Australia recently.
They're starting to crack down on it. I'm starting to see more and more schools in the news or whatever over here, you know, talking about not being held up to standards and stuff. And then, funny enough, there's some here catching a lot of slack because, you know, even though I got my CDL on my own, I trained in the Army, I rented a truck on my own and took the test. Most people over here, most drivers go through a driving school. It used to be 3 weeks. That's what it was. 21 days of driving school. Or I'd say 21, like really like 18 or whatever, because you didn't do Sunday, but it was Monday through Saturday. Every single day you're at that school and you were learning something, book stuff, out on the field, whatever it was. And now you've got ones that are literally over here talking about, oh, you know, get your CDL in 10 days, 2 weeks, 48 hours, like all this crazy shit. I don't know what the full regulations are on the school. Like, as far as I know, you're supposed to have a certain amount of time and all that and blah, blah, blah. But, most of them, most of them, they're not adhering to that stuff, man. But they're starting to crack down on it over here, Miles. And I think that is, we could probably get rid, or I'm gonna say even get rid. We could prevent a lot of crappy people or commercial drivers getting on our roads. Again, if we were properly policing these schools, you know what I mean? I talk about barrier to entry to open up a school. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm going to take a guess that all you got to do is have some type of basic level plan, you know, as far as your school plan, submit it to the state, say, I want to open a school. They give you your accreditation thing. You give them your money for your little license, and they're like, okay, go train people to drive semi trucks. You know, I mean, again, I'm sure it's a little harder than that, but I'm going to say it's probably not much harder than that, you know, and,
okay, so here it's performance based. You have modules that you got to learn, but they don't just put you into you got to start out with an MR license. So, well, you start with your car license, right? You got to hold your car license for 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Then you can apply for what they call your MR or your HR, which is medium rigid or heavy rigid. So that's your box trucks. Okay, you got to hold that license for 12 months. Then from there, you upgrade to your HC, which is your straight or your prime mover and trailer, like what you guys run over there. All right, you got to have that for 12 months, and then to get your MC, which is your road trains, B doubles, and all that, your multi combinations, you got to hold that license for a year to get upgrade to there. But well, Jesus, I got my MR back in the dark days.
It's been a while.
So long time ago.
The dark ages.
Yes, back in the yeah, back before there was color. Yeah, back in the sepia tone days. Yeah, so I got my and then I upgraded to my my HC. I've had my HC for over 35 years or something. I really couldn't tell you now, but a long time. But to do that, I had to go with a driving school, and then once the guy at the driving school thought I was good enough, then we had to go to the government department, people who do licensing, and go out with one of their people, and I had to drive with him sitting in the passenger seat to make sure I could do all the things that were necessary to drive a semi. Now, when I go for my multi-combination to drive road trains and that, it's performance-based. So basically, I'll go out with someone who's been trained by our DOT, and they got all the regulations and the rules that they must adhere to, and I've got to do certain things to get my license. And if I can't do those things, like I've got to reverse 2 trailers backwards 100 meters, and I think you get two corrections. 100 meters is, I think, about 300 or 400 feet. So I got to go backwards for that with 2 or 3 corrections. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of stuff that's involved for me to upgrade my license.
That's actually, I mean, I don't know, it's not a bad system, man. You know, over here, Miles, I'm sure you know, man. I mean, like, I can just walk into any DMV, man, as long as I can show that I went to school and, you know, or passed some type of school. I give them the money for the license. I passed the written test. I passed the driving test. They give you your fucking license, man. I mean, and here's the crazy part. There is nothing that says that I can't immediately go and jump in a truck, by myself and start pulling a load. The only thing that prevents that is most companies if you go company driver, most companies will not let you do that. They will also put you through a training program. But if you got the money to buy a truck, then dude, you could totally go out on the road with just 3 weeks of training, and there's nobody that's going to stop you.
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
And
Wow.
then the other problem with that is even if you went to a company, big company, and got in a truck and they put you through training, their problem is their trainer that they're training you with has only been in a truck for 6 months. So how is someone at 6 months going to train the guy that's only been doing it not even 2 weeks?
That is a
He's
great
not lying,
point, man.
Miles.
That
He
is
is
a
not
great
lying.
point.
And that's the way it goes. It's no lie. That's the way they do it. I mean, I don't know how many of them I have talked to and I have been to that I'd be like, how long you been driving? Oh, I've been driving about 5.5 months. But they made me a trainer. So now I get your pay and my pay. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to trust my life with the guy that's only been doing it for 6 months.
Dude,
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That is hilarious.
I did training and the first place that I was able to be a driver trainer at was US Express officially. I kind of was a driver trainer at Night Refrigerated, even though I only had like 9 months, but the only thing I had to train the guy on was backing. That's because he was a flatbedder, and freaking flatbedders hardly ever back, and so the guy had no clue. So that was technically, I trained him on that at Night Refrigerated. But US Express was the first place I was a trainer, and by that time I had been driving for like 3 years. And at that time, US Express, their rule was you had to have at least a year of solo driving, not a year of driving period, a year of solo driving for before they would allow you to be a trainer, which usually equates to probably about 14 months, because most companies' training program is usually about eight weeks minimum, plus it just kind of depends. So but yeah, that is a good point, Lefty. It's crazy. You're right. A lot of these companies out there, they have these people been out there 6 damn months training some guy out there, and it's like, dude, you haven't been across this country in every single season to know what the hell to be teaching someone. And I think that's another thing. Like, I honestly feel that it shouldn't just be time and service, because what if I've driven 15 years, but I've only driven 15 years up and down I-95? Like, that's great, but that doesn't teach you shit about how to handle I-5 or I-15 or I-84 over in the West Coast, you know what I mean, during the winter time and stuff like that. So I think there's a lot of things that need to be changed with that. Yeah. No, exactly.
I mean, you could have drove back and forth on Death Valley for your whole career. And you got enough time in.
Yeah.
Exactly, well, and man. I know it's not a plane, but I will throw this out there too. You know, think about the training that a pilot has to have to be a commercial pilot. I mean, obviously in a truck, it doesn't have to be that extensive, but they have to have, you know, flight time solo, flight time at night solo, you know, operating just off of gauges, all that kind of thing. I mean, I am really huge on there really has to be some more strict standards as far as training goes, and uniformity in training. You know, that's huge. And again, I'm not a fan of government regulations or more things, but as far as like commercial vehicles, we need to do it.
Time spent driving that. Man, I've been driving here for 30, 35, 40 years. I would not go to America and, you know, say I could do what, you know, in winter. I would not go there to drive in winter because I don't have the experience on ice roads and like snow-covered roads. I don't have them. Summer, no. Anyway, I think I'm losing service. I'll catch you in a while, maybe.
Later, Miles. Hey, Miles, before you go, Miles, just so you know, I was talking about you at Old Town Rig Down this weekend. Our buddies at Easy Claw, they had a friend of theirs that was over here on holiday from Australia. And I was talking to him, and I was talking to him about you, and I was, you know, saying, oh man, like I got a buddy in Australia, he's a driver too. And man, we're sitting there talking about lizard rags, talking about lizard rags, and I told him how I told you that I was rooting for you, and he started cracking up laughing, Miles, like belly laughing, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what my buddy Miles did to me. And the other people are standing there, they're all Americans, and they're like, what's so funny? And he told them what rooting means in Aussie, and everyone was like, oh my God, that's so messed up. So I just want you to know I was just talking about you this weekend at Old Town Ringdown, Miles.
Hey, if Pedro busts your balls, that means he really likes you. And I'll tell you what, Miles, it is Driver Appreciation Week over here, and I appreciate you even though you're over there, and I've been enjoying watching you drive. Thanks for putting the front camera on.
Nah, that's all good. I'm just stopping to get a coffee. I'm going to lose service because this place I'm going through. Now, don't take this as a normal parking area in Australia. This is just a little stop area with a toilet. And old mate has his coffee van here. Where are we parking? Jesus crikey, Jack. Dead set. Fuck me.
Hey, it looks like a normal rest area anywhere in the
Tell you what, man, you're one of my favorite people that's been on here because we're watching him drive down the road in a different country, and it's interesting to see, because like you said, we got the ice roads, we got all these different conditions. You're on flat land, then you're in the mountains in West Virginia or way out west. It is definitely cool to see Australia.
And that's something
Thanks.
that I've been
Hey,
teaching. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna jump out of the truck. I'm gonna go grab a coffee. I'll talk to you when I come back.
Well, we're about to end the show, Miles. We're about to end the show, so you can go ahead and hop off if you want, brother.
Okay, thanks for having me once again. I even behaved myself. I didn't do anything naughty today.
I am proud of you, Miles. I am proud of you.
Mate.
I will send you a gold star.
Be safe out there, man.
I'll catch you later.
Later, Miles.
Bye.
Later.
See you guys. Bye.
I fucking love Miles, dude. He is. I got Hunter introduced me to Miles through X, man. I'll tell you, that guy. He is. Miles is a gem, dude. I like him because it's so cool. Just like this conversation we're just having, like to talk about the the parallels of driving on different sides of the world. You know what I mean? And seeing what he's going through. Like if y'all saw. Obviously, it looked like to us he was driving in the left lane. And I asked him a few weeks ago when I saw him doing it, I was like, dude, I know your roads are on the opposite side. So are you like technically in the slow lane, Miles? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm in the slow lane. Blah, blah. So I don't know. It's just interesting. And when he was on the show a few weeks ago, it was just him and I. He pulled into a fuel stop. And dude, like over there, they have truck stops, but a majority of them, they're just fuel depots. You just pull in, it's a bunch of pumps. He's like, they probably, they got a bathroom, and he's like, and that's it. You just scan your card and you fuel your truck up and you leave, and that's all there is to it.
That's it.
And so
like
it was,
what we have here.
yeah. So it's always interesting talking to him, man, and hearing about the ways that they do things. And even his truck, like, he drives a KW, and you looking out the front of his camera, you're like, oh man, it's a long nose, but he drives a snub nose ass KW. Yep. It's so weird, dude. And you heard him talking, he is 130,000 pounds, dude.
Yep.
Like,
and
I mean,
should have asked him how many tanks he had on it, because usually
he has two. He pulls two trailers. If you go back,
the truck actually, some of them will be
fuel tanks.
Yeah, they end up usually having 4 fuel tanks on them.
Dude,
they travel.
Yeah, it's like a train.
It's in between. It's in between a train, but the thing is, it's how far they are between fuel stops. Because running on the outback, running out through there, they actually run into spots that it may be 2 days before they hit a fuel station, depending on where they're going.
We were talking about that.
It's how regional or actually royal it is in the areas that they can't. That's what they have to do to get fuel, and that's really why when you look at the truck and you're like, man, this thing looks small, but it's because of the small tanks. But they sit higher. Their system, their trucks are built to take the Aussie outback. It'd be like driving New Jersey, and that's a nice peaceful day for them in the outback. But we complain about driving down Jersey with all the potholes and destroying the truck. They're driving that every day, and they're like, what are you talking about? This thing's This is a normal road for us.
Yeah, and when he said 130,000 pounds, that threw me off at first. But then, they're running those things literally, in some spots, they're running almost a train. I've seen like 3-4 trailers behind them, and it's just these long stretches. Very interesting to
when
see it, a different world. And
and then on top of that, real quick, on top of that, if you look, there's no height requirements on 90% of their stuff. Because most of their bridges are 17 to 18 feet in the air, and their requirements, and most of them are where most of their roads do not go under an overpass. I found that out through a friend of mine that went over there. He went to a towing company, but they ended up having to deliver a heavy crane, and I'm like, how in the hell are you toting that? I mean, that's just too high. They don't have no height requirements because they're not going under overpasses. They're all their power lines are underground. It's a lot simpler over there. I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, it's not like here where we got our minimum is 13.6 and the highest I've seen is 17.2. But it's just weird how their setup is, and their system and their heavy hauls are shorter than ours. Ours could be anywhere up to 110 feet long. Theirs over there max is like 50 feet. That's including. It's like, you got to be kidding me. But that's the reason why when you look at their trailer tires, the rear trailers steer, so it makes it easier to make sharper turns and everything. I'm like, well, why don't we pick up something like that to make it easier on, on our low boys? And they say they can't handle the weight. Well, that's funny. They can do it. I mean, they got the weight.
And they're a penal colony. Jeez.
Yes.
Now, Miles was telling about that. There's a lot of things like over there, like they've designed a lot of stuff for like the road transportation system and everything because of like what you're talking about, Lefty. I mean, people look at Australia and they think Sydney, Melbourne, all that stuff. Like most of that is on like the same coast, and it's in a relatively small area, and you've got the whole rest of it that everyone needs cargo and stuff like that. Trains don't run a lot through there, and when they do run, they're for mining and other stuff like that. And it's like a bunch of private railroads. So Miles talked about a lot about that as he's been on the show. He'll actually be on next Friday. He's our guest next Friday. So like if you guys got questions or whatever, Lefty, a lot, but Anthony, dude, like let us know. Miles is cool. We'll probably bring some people in, let folks like ask him questions and shit like that. Like he said, he's been driving over there for 30 plus years, man. And so I'm actually really excited. Hunter and I have been talking to Miles for over a year. So we've heard a lot of stuff, but a lot of people, they don't get to talk to drivers on the other side of the planet, man, and hear about the differences and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, he's actually, he'll be on next Friday. He'll be on next Friday, and next Friday will be a late show. We're going on at 5:30, so that way it'll be 8:30 in the morning for him on Saturday there because he's off on Saturday. So he's going to wake up and have coffee with us while we have beer with him.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be a weird thing, dude. So, but hey, I think Hunter's been working. I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. That's usually Wednesday is his like super fucking busy day. So,
but I'll tell you what, Miles is one of the. Miles is one of the more interesting people that I have seen on here, and we got a lot of characters, so that is saying a lot.
And when he said he behaved, he was not lying.
I
Hunter can attest to that. When Miles said he was behaving, that was the truth, bro. You get him on X in an X space, oh my god. That dude goes off. He's a trip though, man. We love Miles. He's been a really good friend to us, man. Matter of fact, him and my son for a little bit had like this Tim Tam thing going on, dude. So Tim Tams are a big old snack over there. And my son found him here, and they were talking about flavors and all that shit. He's a good guy. Anyway, we are at 2 hours 8 minutes. Pretty typical for a freestyle, but I got a lot of shit to do. I say
midweek freestyle, man. That's why on a Friday we're all getting ready for the weekend, but on a Wednesday we're still working our asses off.
It would have still been a freestyle if we would have had E-Carrier check on. Like still would have been a freestyle with them. That's usually what the shows are with them. They're they were like one of our first guests, and we've just kind of continued this battle royale where we go on their show and talk shit to them. They come on our show, talk shit to us, and we just make it a whole thing. So it still would have been a freestyle. We just would have had our two guys from E-Carrier check on here chilling with us, but it's all good. We'll reschedule. But yeah, get off here. Hunter and I got so much stuff to do. I've got people coming out and ripping out part of my kitchen tomorrow to put in countertops. So, yeah.
But I got one question for you, Pedro.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
What's your thoughts? And I mean, I've had this been pushing on me for a couple of years now, but it's still being brought up and pushed. What's your thoughts on lumpers and paying lumper fees?
I'm against lumpers, bro. They're fucking trash. They're trash.
He wants to lump them up.
It's the stupidest thing ever. Why should I pay you to unload the shit that you ordered? I didn't order this. I didn't just randomly show up at your dock, but we're not going to get on that. I'm totally against it. I think they're trash. We need an anti-lumper law.
Because that's something that we're going to be doing. Because I had two more to email me today and sitting there going, man, I just had to, down here at Memphis, which actually they're at Red Devil Dog Food, which is right there at Memphis, at the border of Memphis, but it's in Mississippi, right there on the borderline. And they just had to fork out $600 for lumper fees because each pallet had to come off, and then each bag had to go on a different pallet. So there's 4 different pallets. And they told them, you can do it, but you only got 2 hours to do it in, or pay the $600 and we can have our guys do it while when we're pulling it off.
Yeah, I'm anti-lumper, bro, 100%. I know. Shut the hell up, Josh. They're not a necessary. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna ban you, Josh. You're gonna get banned, bro. Yeah, I'm not for them. It's the dumbest thing. I know why they do it.
Jail.
Warehouses do it so they save on labor, man. That's really what it boils down to. But let's be honest, they usually get a kickback from those lumpers.
Oh yeah,
they
in a heartbeat. Yeah.
It's kind of like paying a waiter or a waitress like a couple bucks an hour and them relying on tips. That's how I always kind of viewed them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little different, but yeah, I see it. I don't know. I'm just against them totally. Lumpers. Let's not do that. Well, that's a good conversation though. We need to have a whole lumper thing. We need to have a whole lumper rabbit hole. All right. So we're going to put Mr. Hound on the spot here because he's been MIA for like part of the show. So Mr. Hound, we're going to start with you. Any exiting comments, questions, concerns, updates?
Thank you, drivers. And that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Hey, I'm with you on that. Thank you, drivers. Thank you, Lefty.
Appreciate you drivers out there and for everything that y'all do, keeping the roads moving. But keep the sunny side up and rubber side down. Just be safe out there. Because here lately I've been seeing a lot of that going on too. Just be aware of your surroundings. Make sure if you're getting tired, we need you here. We don't need you somewhere else. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Keep the shiny side up.
Here. Yeah, and then here from Left Lane with Lefty, we love all drivers, and we appreciate everything that y'all do. I've been in the seat. I know what it is. It's not an easy life when you're out there on your own. Yeah.
Boom. There you have it. Words to live by. No, thank you. Thank you, Lefty. I agree. Like yeah. Thanks. I'll just echo it. Yeah. Thanks to everybody, drivers. You heard a million times this week or whatever, but seriously, thank you. Everyone that knows. As they say, if you know, who really keeps the country moving, and couldn't do it without you. And Lefty, I like what you said, God, be safe out there. That is honestly the biggest thing. Let me tell you something, man. Ain't no damn freight worth your life. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Forget that seafood, forget those plastic containers, all that stuff. Driver, you need to pull over, you pull over, man. And keep it safe. That's it. Your family wants you home, and we all want you home. And I'm not gonna lie, even as a broker, that is one call that I have yet to get is anyone involved in some type of accident, and I hope I never ever have to get that call and deal with that. So with that, we will say Happy Driver Appreciation Week. We hope you get to make it through the terminal and get some of those cold meats. That's what I'm telling people, man. Hey, I got some 2-day-old cold meat for you. You know what I mean? Whenever you get back to the terminal, we got it in the fridge for you.
We're talking about cold meat. We're talking about fried bologna here. Come on.
Fried bologna.
Oh, man. So we're going to roll out no show on Friday because Hunter and I are traveling. And with that said, if you are going to be in the Chicago area this weekend, we're going to be at the Carrier Revenue Summit. It's actually happening in Romeoville, which is just south of Chicago. We will have some truck parking. The event is free. Be a really cool thing. And the after event, they got some food, cigar lounge, car show, truck show, DJ, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're coming around, you want to kill some time, come and hang out with us. Hunter and I will be there with a whole bunch of other folks having a good time. And we'll be back next week. We got a pretty cool guest in the show or coming on the show. I think all our guests are cool. Huh?
Y'all going to G-Bats?
No, we're not. We heard about it too late.
Gotcha.
We heard about it too late. Yeah, we didn't. And it sucks because Hunter, I just found out they only put that on every 2 years, bro. That G-Bats thing. I didn't. That's not a yearly thing. So I was like, oh, we'll go next year. No, we're gonna have to wait till 2027.
Yep.
So, but I heard that's a good ass show.
Plenty of time to plan.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that are going. So yeah, we heard about it too late, and it's not in the travel budget because we've got a show coming up. I've got a show coming up that I got to go to, and then we got this one, then another one in the beginning of October, and then we've got Star Stripes and White Lines in November. So yeah.
Oh, so I'll see y'all then in November.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Hunter and I will be there. Well, I don't know when Hunter will be there.
I got some deals working in the background that I can't say.
Well, just talk to us. Let us know.
You'll understand when you see me.
Okay.
You'll understand.
Yeah. I don't know when Hunter will be there. I know Hunter is, as of now, the guy that was on the show earlier, Clint. He lives in Cleveland, Tennessee. So I think Hunter is going to go to Cleveland and follow Clint down there because Clint is bringing his truck. So I don't know whenever that is, either Thursday or Friday. I will be there Thursday on the 6th. So I can get footage of like the setup and everything. So just let me know when you'll be there, Lefty, and we'll hook up.
All right. I should be there about the same time. I should be there probably late Wednesday, early Thursday.
Cool. Freaking heck. Glad to know you're going, bro. That's awesome. It's good, man. Yeah. I'm excited about Star Stripes White Lines, Hunter. Like, dude, it is literally going to be like all of our friends or most of our friends from the trucking community in one fucking place, dude, for the weekend.
That's dangerous. That's fucking dangerous, man.
The only thing is I will not have my vehicle, so I will not be able to be a Uber. Sorry.
Nah, we're all staying close. I think we're probably going to stay with our buddy Jimmy, and he lives like 5 minutes away.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm just saying, though, I probably won't have my truck, so I won't be able to be an Uber.
That's fine. I don't want to be in your fucking 150-degree truck.
Oh,
again.
whatever.
Thought I was gonna
that
die.
Was crazy.
It was, Hunter, wasn't it? It was, bro. It was like a sauna in that damn thing.
Well, y'all sitting there kind of cold. Yeah, we'll warm it up. I mean,
you need to go get yourself tested for anemia, buddy. As hot as it was in that truck. Ridiculous. All right, we're going to get out of here because we'll just keep on talking. So thanks, everyone, for joining us. We will see you all next week. Hope you have a wonderful rest of y'all's week. Everybody be safe out there. Much love. As I always say, chunk them deuces. Mr. Hound, roll that beautiful bean footage.
The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.